Hello. Do, 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 do. We are live, baby. We are live. We are live. Am I coming through all right? Trying to get this going. So, how we doing out there this evening on my lovely birthday? I just came to do a little testing here because plan is to go live for maybe twice a month starting out and see if it's viable to do it weekly. I kind of want to create a atmosphere similar to a friend of mine used to do Real Woman Wednesdays, and she talk about a tip or article or something like that. And it was really good discussion, and I kind of miss her not doing it, and it created a really nice, friendly community. And I kind of wanted to bring that back and bring that out because women are known to gather and to talk, but a lot of it is gossip or, nitpicking here or there. Like, where is the space for constructive criticism? Where is the space for enrichment? Where is the space for, hey, I just want to have a laugh. No pressure, no negativity, no cancel culture as we're good for right now. Can't, it seems like we can't disagree. It's all or nothing. And there's no such thing as that when it comes to conversation. Everyone has their opinion and we can respect their opinion, but we could also respectfully disagree. And it doesn't have to end a relationship. But it makes us both smarter to understand each point of view, whether we agree with it or not. Or maybe it sparks a different kind of conversation that takes us on a higher level. But if we automatically come against somebody and we don't like what they say and we just get rid of them, we'll eventually all end up alone with no real friendships, no real encounters with people. So it's like really, really weird. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, to create a space where we can have, as Brenda says, more adult conversation, where we're not just doing everything either the young people do or doing everything our mothers and grandmothers did, as far as, there was a lot of nitpicking, a lot of gossiping, a lot of bringing up who you used to be. We don't allow people to grow, to change, to become more than what they were. We put people in a box and leave them in that box because that's where we're comfortable with them being. Because if they go outside the box, then that means we have to grow outside of our box. And we're comfortable where we are. We don't, or we're afraid to go outside of our box. So for me, with this birthday, I'm trying no, I'm not trying. I'm going to come more and more outside of my box than I already have been. The fact that I have a newsletter and a podcast is way outside my comfort zone, but I'm enjoying it. And I believe I'm becoming a better person for it. And I've had the opportunity to meet and interact with some crazy people. So it's been really, really, really cool. But I'm having fun. I got plenty of calls and texts today from, as I like to say, the non-Facebook people. Because most people don't really remember your birthday unless they get that notification from Facebook. And 9 times out of 10, that's the only time they hit you up is when they get that notification. But fortunately for me, I went through most of the day without anybody hitting me up because in December, I did what I call the Great Purge. And I got rid of a lot of people that were what I call, they were just lurking. They weren't adding anything. As my pastor used to say, people, they add or subtract, they multiply or divide. And so you have to get rid of those people that constantly subtract things from your life, or the people that cause division in your life. But if you're not adding any value, if you're not multiplying anything, it was time for you to go. And I mean, I spent a couple days pruning my Facebook, pruning my Instagram, getting rid of people just because we went to school together or we did this program together. If we're not communicating anymore, if you don't post positive things, if you don't post funny things, things that make me think, you gone. So I think it took a long time. It wasn't until I posted a reel earlier that also ended up posting on Facebook about this being my birthday and me shouting out, asking people to sign up for the newsletter and to sign or listen to the podcast. And if they're feeling the podcast, to subscribe. Then people started sending me birthday wishes on Facebook. Well, that's pretty good. I got through most of the day without a whole bombardment of empty happy birthdays just because they got a notification that it was my birthday today. So that was pretty cool. But if you are interested let me fix this right quick. Don't you love going live? If you want to register for my newsletter, you can go to the website, which is aliciatsays.com. So that first page will take you to give you the opportunity to give me your name and your email, and you will start getting the email. I think I was one W short. Start getting emails. The newsletter comes out every Friday morning at 6 a.m. The podcast episodes come out every Monday. The audio comes out Monday morning at 6, but the YouTube version comes out at noon on that same Monday. So I would really appreciate it if people would check it out, give it a listen, or if you're on YouTube like here, give it a watch. I welcome all constructive criticism. Operative word being constructive, not just to criticize. Help me to get better. because I'm starting at one place, but I don't plan to stay there. I'm not planting my flag here. The goal is to get better and to offer better information, be better in front of the camera, be better in front of the mic, because those of you who know me know I am more comfortable behind the mic. I mean, behind the camera, rather. So I'm a behind the scenes kind of woman, but I'm learning to step out on faith, on purpose. So I'm really digging this. So I don't know. I'm not a long-winded person either, so it's not a whole lot of participation going on tonight. So I think might cut this a little short. I just wanted to try this out and be able to do this because I think I kind of like standing and talking better than sitting and talking. I don't know. I just want to make sure I don't end up one of those people that just rocks. But it's been a really good birthday. Like I said, I got plenty of calls from people, non-Facebook people. A friend of mine sent me a gorgeous bouquet of flowers, which I really appreciated. Oh, now you're trying to get me to talk. I see you, Bryn. Okay. The newsletter is kind of on the same level as the podcast, only it's a little more informal. Each newsletter kind of starts off with kind of a snippet of what's going on in my life that week or at that moment in time, or something that I'm planning. And then usually I share some kind of tip or just interesting information that I've learned that particular week. We'll share some form of Black history. It could be about a certain female. It could be about a period in time. It could be about that particular date in history. And usually I wrap it up with some type of quote. Occasionally I've used book passages to give you a little wisdom for that week. As far as the podcast is concerned, the podcast is telling the story of Black women through quotes and book passages and sayings and proverbs, where we break down the meaning of those quotes and proverbs and passages through the lens of Black women. And hopefully we sprinkle a little humor in there. Also, occasionally we will have others, people, men, Black and other cultures, but primarily we're going to be looking at the wisdom of Black women. Because the podcast, Knowledge Gumbo, is for Black women, about Black women, and we're looking to dive into their stories and connect to their wisdom and hopefully apply it. And if you're interested, I'm hoping to tickle your fancy so that you go learn even more about these women. So I think that, that's cool. Val, what's up? My Detroit homie, how you doing? It's all good. I'm live in these streets, nervously live, but it is what it is. Having a good old birthday time right now. Celebrating the double nickel. Well, you've never caught me live. Well, when I did the lives in November, those were early in the morning, and that was kind of my thought process was not to get caught. But I want to, going forward, I want to do more lives like I said before, to create a community where Black women can talk and converse and discuss, and we can disagree without being disagreeable, where we can learn from each other, where we can laugh, cry, and everything together, instead of letting things pull us apart, instead of picking each other apart. Because even if I don't agree with someone, there's a lesson to learn in other people's mistakes. Actually, that's the best way to learn, and that's the greater part of wisdom, is learning from other people's mistakes. You don't have to go down that road. So I'm like, let's go, let's do this. Probably, like I said, starting out maybe twice a month, and then if we get on a roll and people are open and the community grows, I'll change it to once a week. It'll be probably on Wednesdays around this time, if not an hour earlier or so. Like I said, I want to just create community where we can all grow together and no one has to feel alone. Because I originally thought, why would people want to watch? Why would people want to participate? But there are people out there who need community, and they don't have, there's people around them, but they're still lonely. So we want to give them a place that's warm, a place that helps ignite their thinking, and hopefully inspires them to participate more in their community and with their families. Uh-oh. I didn't get off fast enough. Yolanda has shown up. What's happening? What is good? What is good? I didn't get off fast enough. Yolanda is here. I'm in trouble. But like I said, this is something I've wanted to do for a while. Once I realized that people are out there and looking for a community, looking for like-minded individuals, because like I said before, you can be surrounded by people and still be lonely because they're not your people. And like I said, with the video that I put out, the reel that I put out today on Instagram and Facebook about subscribing, if you're not vibing with me in the content that I'm creating, I don't want to be mean about it, but we don't want you. We want people that vibe and are interested in this information and interested in contributing and being positive. So if that's not you, may the good Lord watch. But hopefully, in your circle, in your community, you have people who do vibe and rock with this kind of information. And hopefully you'll be more willing to share that with them so that we can grow this community and that we can be better and be strong. So, well, at this point, I'm not actually worried about being mean about it, because it's the truth. Why would you want to hang out in a space that does nothing for you? So look, if you don't want to rock with this, if you don't want to be pro-Black, pro-women, then if you're not interested in our stories, if you're not interested in, knowing that our voice matters, we don't want you here. There are other places and spaces for you. So, What are you doing to celebrate your birthday other than hosting this amazing live show? Actually, I just chilled today. It was just really nice. I actually slept late. I got up at my regular time, started my regular routine, and I was like, you know what? I'm still a little bit sleepy. So I crawled back in the bed and slept for another hour or so. So it was pretty cool. I just chilled. Like I said previously, I got some calls and some texts from people, as I say, the non-Facebook people who remembered my birthday because they remembered me as opposed to getting a notification. And that being the only time that they ever say anything to me on social media the whole year. So that was cool. Got flowers. It's a nice day out. Went outside for a minute. Not too hot, not too cool. Probably get off here and chill, read a book, or keep listening to the one that I've been listening to when I started walking every morning. So I've been listening to that book that Doc recommended to us about the let them theory. It's been very, very interesting listening to that. So that's probably about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually make a big deal about my birthday. I was fortunate in that in my first job, which was with Saturn, they gave you your birthday off. So I've always been in the habit since I started working professionally to always take my birthday off, to never work my birthday. So it's always been a chill day for me. And since moving down south, you actually feel like you can do something though, because usually living in Detroit, cold, snow, ice, you just stay home, wrap myself in a blanket, give me a stack of books to read, some cocoa, some tea, because my birthday is so close to Valentine's Day. Trying to go somewhere or do something, the prices are all jacked up because of Valentine's Day. So, yeah, that's usually not, trying to plan a trip is usually, I'd have to plan it before, up to my birthday, not on my birthday, past it because of Valentine's Day, because of all you lovely people who have partners and you celebrate the holiday. So I used to just chill. Like I said, from that first time when they told me I got my birthday off, I was like, huh? Oh, okay. And then I have a really good friend who passed it's been gone about almost 2 years now. Gwen Osborne. Her philosophy was you take a day off for every decade of life that you have. So she would take a day off for every decade that she lived. So I'm like, I might grow into that. It sounds like fun. But yeah, for as long as I've known her, every decade she would add another day to her vacation. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. How do you guys celebrate your birthday? Because I'm chilled. I mean, I did think about at one point going to Hawaii and catching the whales, because whales are out this time of year, but no. I really wanted to focus on getting the podcast going and being consistent with the podcast and not getting distracted by doing other things. So, but yeah. Oh yeah, I loved working for Saturn. They did a bunch of cool stuff, and including giving your birthday off. Because the other caveat too was like if your birthday fell on the weekend, they would give you a day off during the pay period that your birthday fell. So if your birthday wasn't on a weekday, if it's on a weekend, you still get the day off. But you got to choose it at that point. But you just had to take the day off within the pay period that your birthday fell. So that was pretty cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'll find other ways to celebrate my birthday going forward. But I like being chilled and just hanging out. But if going forward, if there's any topics you guys want me to cover or any tips or things, because I'm willing to do the research. I'm willing to go down the rabbit hole to find out stuff. Because unlike most people, I don't claim to know everything, but I have an unquenchable thirst to learn. So I'm willing to work that out. Willing to work that out. So I feel myself rambling. So maybe it's time to to wrap this thing up and get back to my blanket and my book. And right now I'm drinking lemonade, not the tea yet. But I got me some nice lemon ginger tea waiting on me for a little bit later. Like I said, I'm going to get used to this. I'm going to get better. Hopefully, you'll extend me some grace and some patience while I do this. I'll figure out which 2 days of the month, 2 Wednesdays I'm going to start with, whether it's going to be the 1st and the 3rd or the 2nd and the 4th. But probably my first conversation is going to be, because I've kind of already made the thumbnail for it, is where have the, in essence, where have the big mamas gone? Because I feel like there's a lot of knowledge and stuff that we don't have anymore. And I want to figure out why, or how can we get it back and start sharing that with the next generation. Oh yeah, I love it. Lemon ginger tea. And then sometimes what I'll do in the morning is when I'm in a hurry and I don't have an opportunity, because I make my own little cubes of lemon and ginger and then pour the hot water over it in the morning and put some chia seeds in there. Oh, that's fire right there for me. But sometimes I cheat and I just buy it in a little baggie. But for the most part, I like to make my own and turn them into ice cubes. So that's been real cool. And every now and then I'll find, when I go to the health store like Sprouts or Whole Foods, you'll find them already pre-made and frozen. But usually it's cheaper to make your own. But everybody needs a shortcut now and then. Oh, and I forgot to share. Like I'm using the Big A Calendar by Jesse Itzler. And a part of that is you got to have a Muskogee, or it's a big activity that you do for the year that marks the year. Originally, I was going to do a bike ride from Pittsburgh to DC on two big trails, but my dad wants to go to these family reunions, and I'm going to have to do the driving. And it's around the time that I was planning to train and go. So that got kiboshed. So my new Muskogee, or big challenge for the year, is I'm going to do the 100,000 step challenge in 24 hours. So I'm putting that out there to hold me accountable to get it done this year. 100,000 steps. And I'm terrified, but I'm putting together a training plan because I've watched like at least 50 videos of other people doing it and seeing what they did right, seeing what they did wrong, the ones that completed it, the ones that failed it. And right now, what I'm looking at is doing it in September. See, Brenna, she done rolled with me down a couple of rabbit holes that I've done, and I'm used to her giving me them kind of looks. Because she cheered me on when I did the 75 hard, and she cheered me on when I did the David Goggins 4x4x48. I did that one twice. I did the 75 hard twice. So I didn't want to go back and do the 4x4x48 again. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's doing 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So, that was, you learn a lot about yourself when you hit what they call the pain cave. You learn a lot about yourself, where your heart is, where your mind is. And you learn stuff about yourself that you didn't know. It sounds hard, and it is hard physically, but mentally you come out a better person for it. I promise you. You gonna give me 50 steps? No, I know, Bren. You always been the great cheerleader, and I appreciate that. Cause every now and then you need somebody to say, "Nope, you said you was gonna do it, so get out there and do it." So, yeah, no, the David Goggins one, like I said, that was hard. I did it twice. I did it once, like right before the pandemic. And then I did it again during the pandemic. And my nephew, who is way younger than me, tried to do it with me, and he tapped out. So he was like looking at me like I was totally crazy. But like I said, you learn a lot about yourself when you push yourself. Seriously, Brent? Seriously? Okay. Seriously? You gonna come for me like that? Yeah. I like to learn about myself because I feel like every day that I'm breathing is an opportunity to be better, to love more, to give more, to do more. And there are times where I wasted days and I wasted time, and time is a gift you can't get back. It can't be returned. Can't exchange it. So I promised myself a few years ago that I was gonna have a major challenge that I was gonna do every year to push myself, to keep myself from getting in a rut and learning more about myself. So, you know, I I enjoy those kind of challenges. What was your result from doing garden? I think the major lesson from doing that one was you can do more than you think you can. It's kind of like what he teaches. When you think you're done, really you're only 40% done. You still got a lot left in the tank and a lot left to do. And like it really hit me because the first time I did it, I was walking my 4 miles on the treadmill at the gym, and I kept telling myself, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm in too much pain. And then something in the back of my head just said, well, if you can't do it no more, why are your legs still moving? Saying you can't do it means you can't do it, but you can, you just don't want to. So it made me push myself and to keep going. So, I mean, that was the biggest thing is like, I talked myself out of being better, of being more. I keep my own self in a box. Like I was telling one of my groups is that I find myself sometimes being my own worst enemy. And I'm working to break out of that. I find that I gaslight my own self. It's not even coming from anybody else. I gaslight my own self. So by doing these challenges, I'm changing my mindset. I'm changing the way I talk about what I can and cannot do. I change, challenging myself, because even if you don't meet the full goal, you're still a better person for having made the attempt than for being the person that's always talking about it but never doing it. Or being the person who, those people who their greatest days were in high school or in college, and that's all they ever talk about, that they don't challenge themselves anymore. Those were the wonder years, and they feel like their life has gone downhill from there. I don't want to live my life like that. So that's why I told myself, I'm going to challenge myself every year to something and do it. And I'm going to quit gaslighting myself, or when I hear it, stop it and correct it and keep it moving. So, you have to look at yourself sometimes in the conversations that you have and realize that instead of being your biggest enemy, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. You need to really dig down and love yourself. Because I got a podcast episode coming up about radically loving yourself. It's a quote about radically loving yourself. Because we, especially as Black women, we give. And we don't realize that our cup is empty. And the love that we're giving at that point, is it really love? Is it really sacrifice? Or do we just want to be seen as a martyr? So I think when we love ourselves and we build that up, our cup is never empty. So, it's up to us. And then we need to support each other. We need to stop saying, oh, that's too hard. I mean, that might not be something you're prepared to do now, but who knows? You might be prepared to do it in a few years or so. Or maybe that's not your thing, but you can find something that challenges you in an area where you want to grow. That seems outside of your scope, but it really isn't. It doesn't have to be physical. I like the physical because to me, it's so tied to the mental as to whether or not you finish. And your mentals become stronger as your body becomes stronger. So I'm throwing it out there. It's probably going to be in September. I'm looking at September 7th, I believe, because that's a full moon, because I want to start walking at night and I want to have the extra light from the full moon when I'm walking. So I'm excited, but I'm going to slowly ramp myself up to walking consistently over these next few months, because I don't want to get to the point with a lot of these challenges that I've done. And I realized another thing that I learned is that you push yourself so hard, you get to the end of the challenge, and then it takes you a week or two to recover, and you get off your everyday routine of moving your body. And it's so easy to fall off the wagon and lose sight of the wagon. And then you fall back into bad habits. So I'm really trying to build myself up this time so that, I might take a day or two off afterwards, but I can keep going. I can keep going after that, and be consistent over a long period of time. I think consistency is the key to all of it. But I mean, as far as walking, I want to maintain, throughout the rest of my life, between, I want to say, 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day. I've read, I'm trying to remember where the study came from, but I read about, it's not 10,000 steps a day for health. They say around 7,000 to 7,500 is what you need just for everyday health. Not nothing athletic or spectacular or anything like that. So that's what I want to maintain after this, is around 7,000, 7,500. And usually right now, I can get close to that in an hour. So if an hour of walking a day for the rest of my life helps me stay in good condition, I'll do it. I'll take it. So maybe, one of the live conversations we can talk about is walking, because you definitely want to have the right shoes for it. You definitely want to walk at a pace that's good for you, at a stride that's good for you, because a lot of people hurt themselves by walking outside of their normal stride. And that's when you get into shin splints and blisters and stuff like that. So I put it out there. My Muskogee is 100K steps in 24 hours. And I'll throw out some more specifics as we get closer to the date. And I'll try to go live a couple times while walking, or at least recording something and posting it during that day. I'm excited and terrified, so I know it's a good challenge. That's usually the key to a good challenge. is being excited and being terrified. That's usually that usually lets you know that's a good that's a good challenge. But yeah, right now so right now, yeah, I'm starting off at an hour, and over the next few months, I'm gonna go up every month and be consistent over a month's time, and then go up again, so that my legs will be. I don't think you can truly prepare for it, but it's better than the people that just decided, oh, this sounds like a good challenge, and they went out and did it, and then when they got through with it, if they're finished at all, they were trashed. And I ain't trying to be trashed, so that's that's how we gonna do it. So if walking is something, you guys want to get together and create some kind of accountability for it, we can see what we can work out here. So, but that's all I got. I appreciate you all for showing up for me and talking to me and being gracious enough to listen. Okay, Val. I'll see how we can make this work. Um, I don't have like any kind of group thing right now. I was kind of waiting on YouTube was talking about creating groups where we could talk to each other and stuff, but I don't know how soon that's going to happen. So I'll see if we can work something else out. But again, I appreciate you all for checking in and spending a few minutes of your time, because like time is the greatest gift you can give anyone. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. And like I said, we're going to do this thing. We're going to create this community. We're going to support each other. We're going to love on each other. We're going to disagree with each other, but we're not going to tear each other down. That's not allowed. And if you're one of them people that don't know how to get along with other people, there's a blocking function for that. So I appreciate you all spending a part of your evening with me on my birthday. And I promise to keep being out there and supporting each one of you as you grow your things. Because I really think sisterhood is important, and we need to redefine it so that it doesn't have all these different limits on it. You know. So I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate all the birthday love, and I'm excited to get going, especially working on the health this year is the main goal. As I was teasing with some people, I was helping out at Podfest with Ecam, and I walked in front of one of the cameras, and my butt was in 2 zip codes, and that's not cool. So we're going to work on this till we get the butt down into 1 zip code. So that's what I'm rolling with right now. Is to get it down, have more energy so that I can give more, do more, and be more. But yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight walking in front of that camera, and I was just the only thing that was missing from my butt was a sign that said wide load. That was the only thing that was missing. Woo! That's what you call a real wake up call. So, that's the goal, to get it down and to do it slowly and consistently, because it didn't get there overnight and it won't disappear overnight. So, patience and consistency. Patience and consistency. I think that's a lesson we can all learn. Because if we can be consistently good, we can have moments of greatness. And that's a very fulfilling life. So, once again, thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for hanging out with me on my birthday. If you haven't already, I humbly request that you like and you subscribe, especially to the podcast. If, like I said before, if that's your kind of thing, if you rock with what I'm sharing, I ask that you subscribe and you participate. But if it's not your thing, it's not your swag, I'm sure you have some people in your orbit that vibes with that kind of thing, that nerds out on this kind of content. And all I humbly ask is that you would share the podcast and the newsletter with these people. So we'll work out this walking thing. I'll work on it this week and I'll have something to send out for everybody, or I'll post a video on this page to talk about it. So as they say in the church, if all hearts and minds are clear, we can end this birthday live. We can end this birthday live on a good note, positive note. So everybody have a really great evening. Again, thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for joining this conversation. I'll be more diligent going forward of posting what we're going to talk about a whole lot earlier than the night before. It just came to me to do this live yesterday, so I know I didn't give a lot of people time to even see the notification. So everybody have a wonderful evening. And if you join the newsletter, you'll be hearing from me Friday. If you join the podcast, you'll be hearing from me next Monday. Like I said, podcast is here on YouTube. If you want to watch the video, you can get the audio on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music. So, and like I said, even if it's not your thing, if you want to give it a listen, I'm taking constructive criticism, the operative word being constructive, because I want to get better. So help me grow. Because I want to be a better person, a better woman, and I want to share what I'm learning with other people and grow, because there's enough for everybody. There is no sense of lack. You all are amazing people, and there are people who need what you have, and you have to share it. You have to give it, but you can't give from an empty cup. So love on yourselves so that you'll have that strength, you'll have that energy, so that you can give and love. Because it's like I said, your voice matters. Remember that your voice matters. See you later.